Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to Bhroman Braapsody. This is where we review cars and motorcycles. And in today's episode, we have a 2022 KTM Duke 390. This is called the corner rocket. And that's not me calling it, that's KTM calls it. And this is what they say. They say the 390 Duke is a pure example of what draws so many people to the thrill of street motorcycling. The corner rocket maximizes enjoyment and user value, taking the honors where nimble handling counts. Light as a feather, powerful and packed with state-of-art technology, yada yada yada. You get the idea. It's light, it's powerful, and it's supposed to corner really well. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the bike, we're going to see some of its features, I'm going to take it out on the road, share my thoughts with you guys, talk about the cost of ownership, and assign it a Bhroman score. But before we do any of that, if you're new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Put out content every week, and your support would mean a lot. It's me, it's your boy Bro, and I am your Bhroman. So this has a single-cylinder 390cc engine, and that puts out about 44 horses and 27 foot-pound of torque. Put this in perspective, this bike weighs less than 400 pounds, wheelbase less than 60 inches. What that means is it's really compact, it's really light, and it's got enough power to get you into some trouble. And not just that, there's a lot of technology in it as well. You get ABS, both front and rear, and you can turn the ABS off for those hooligans out there for the rear brake. That way you can lock up your rear tire, slide it around, do all that fun stuff. And they were serious about the handling of this motorcycle, so it's all about low center of gravity. Even the exhaust, it's mounted pretty low to give you a better lower center of gravity so that you can flick it from side to side. The engine, 4-valve cylinder in that engine, so that means it gets out your power smoother and whenever you want it. That 27 foot-pound of torque is ready. And with that 44 horsepower, although that's at a higher end, but it's always available. It's got 6 gears, it has a slipper clutch, which means you can be trigger happy, 1-finger clutch. You don't have to really pull it in, just yank it and you're good to go. Let's do a quick walk around and see what this bike's got to offer us. Starting off from the front of the motorcycle, you have the turn signals up there. That's a little cowl that's been added aftermarket. You have the beautiful headlight there. It's the patented KTM bug eye look, but it looks pretty cute. And on the sides, you have air intakes to cool that single-cylinder engine. And there's another cool thing about the lights. Those things on the outside, those are DRLs. See? Looks cute. So this has a 25-degree rake angle. What's the rake angle, you ask? We'll draw perpendicular from the steering mount, follow the fork tube. That angle is your rake angle. Shorter the rake angle, the more nimble the bike is, and larger the rake angle, well, the more fun it is at higher speeds, highway speeds and such. In the front, you have a single 320mm disc brake to provide all your braking power. It's got the beautiful trellis frame, black and white. And in the rear, you have the single shock, the monoshock, you can see it there. It flows down to that beautiful exhaust, and then you have the trellis frame and all of that continues along the bike. That's your brake light and your turn signals. It's pretty simple, pretty clean. Well, it's a sports bike, of course, it's gonna be a chain drive. You have a beautiful swing arm, and take a closer look at the swing arm. It's made beautifully. Look at that little design there. I quite like it. It's got a passenger seat. Looks to be pretty wide and pretty well cushioned. And so is the rider's seat. Pretty wide, feels well cushioned. Then we come up to this fuel tank. I like the little humpback design. This has a 3.3 gallon fuel capacity, so not a lot, but keep in mind this gives you a better fuel economy than most other motorcycles. All right, let's talk about the handlebar controls. On your left-hand side, up here is your passing lights and high beams to push it out for high beams, or just pull it in for passing lights. These are your buttons to go through the menu and turn signals, and then you have your horn. Although it's an entry-level or a very beginner-friendly bike, it comes packed with a lot of features and little things that you can do. One of those things is adjustable levers on both sides for the brake and the clutch. The controls on your right are your kill switch and your starter button down there. Now this does not have keyless ignition. It's got the old school key. like most sports bike do. So to turn on the bike, you got to put it in carefully and gently and turn it on. And boom, it's ready to race, ready to race. All right, so this is a beautiful infotainment screen, and you get a digital tachometer, speedometer, it'll tell you which gear it's on, your fuel gauge, oil temperature, odometer, ABS on off, time. And here you get your trip 1, trip time, your date, your battery, and your fuel range. Pretty neat. And all along these sides are your warning lights, so engine oil, ABS, messages, all that good stuff. You can toggle through this a little bit. You get the trip 1 details, so you get trip 1 miles, consumption, average speed, trip time, fuel range, all that cool stuff. But now when you click on the set button, you get a bunch of options that you can play around with. You have your trip data, motorcycle, and settings. So let's go into trip data and see what's what. You get general info, trip 1, trip 2, warning. If you go into motorcycle, this is where you can select your ABS, so you can either keep it in road or do supermoto. Supermoto disables the ABS on the rear brake, so lets you lock it up. And then last is the settings. So when you go into settings, you have your favorites, your quick selector 1, quick selector 2, display theme, shift light, all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's a small screen, but it gives you a good amount of info. Well, my co-host has finally decided to join me today, but now that we've looked around the bike, seen some of its cool features, do you know what time it is? It's right o'clock. Let's go.
So, if you guys are new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. We put out content every week, and your support would mean a lot. Okay, so don't hate on me for wearing my Ducati gloves and my Ducati jacket. That's the only thing I could find on my way out, so it is what it is. Well, they're both European, so if that helps. So let's go, let's get it started. Yeah. All right, go little thumper. So let's start off our ride with the first test. Let's make a couple of U-turns and see how this puppy maneuvers, shall we? I don't expect it to be really difficult on this bike. Lightweight, steep brake angle, short wheelbase, all of that combines to do one thing and one thing only. Making U-turns. See, I can make the radius tighter if I wanted to, make it larger if I wanted to. No problemo. It's very easy. Which means it's time for our second test, the pull test. Let's see how this puppy pulls. Yeah, it's not the fastest bikes out there, but that being said though, it does put a smile on your face in the middle of the pull test. Like, it's quick, I'll give it that, but it's not fast. But the sound and everything that makes, and it's a light bike, right? Small and light bike, so you feel all the wind, all of that. It kind of makes it seem that you're going a lot faster than you really are. So let's talk about the first impressions of this motorcycle. I am sitting quite upright. These handlebars, they're not like super out there. I don't have to lean over the tank to get to them. They're like nice and relaxed. The seating position and the riding ergonomics is that of being relaxed. I like the seat, man. It's got a nice deep cut, so you're sandwiched between the gas tank and the tail section or the rear seat. It's a comfy seating position. I can hug the tank with my legs, and my legs are not bent weirdly, man. I am liking it. The foot pegs are like that of a sports bike, so they're a little up high, and a slight bit behind you, so it's not like an exact 90 degree, like your leg's not at an exact 90 degree, but it's it's nice and it's comfortable. The balance is just phenomenal. I mean, it's a small and light and compact motorcycle, so handling and the balance is amazing. Well, we are coming up to a red light. Front brakes only, or the front brake only in this case. No problemo. I can flat foot this bike very easily. I'm 5'10" with a 31-inch inseam. No trouble flat footing it. And I like the little whine of that engine. I mean, not a whine, it's not a purr either. It's working. It's working. But it's a very smooth sound, and the way this bike rides is just so smooth. You can feel the thumper just, you know, doing its thing. It's not like the V-twin chugga 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 that I so love. But it has a distinctive sound. Like, listen. Yeah, it's got the little cylinder is trying to do its thing, man. Go, little rock star, go! So, would this be a good bike for commuting? I mean, you would have to carry a backpack with your laptop and your belongings in it, because this has 0 storage space. But yeah, commuting should be fine as long as you're not taking the highways for the most part. Because I don't know, like this bike on a highway, you'd get like thrown around or get a lot of wind buffeting, especially when you go past like those big trucks and big other big vehicles and whatnot. So yeah, but if you're taking like city roads or back roads, you should be just fine commuting on it. What about touring? Is this a good bike for touring? Yeah, absolutely not. The things that I like about a touring bike are wind protection. This has got none. Storage space. This has got none. Speakers. This has got none. The seat is comfortable. It's not like a touring seat, or your seating position and the riding ergonomics are not that of a touring bike. On a touring bike, I mean, you should be able to stretch out your legs and all that. You couldn't on this one, so nope, not a bike for touring. Is this a good bike for beginners? Well, yeah, absolutely yeah. This is hands down one of the best beginner bikes or entry-level bikes I've ridden. I mean, this is light, it's compact, it's nimble, it's got a decent amount of power. So it's got power, it's got enough power for you to learn on without getting you into a lot of trouble. And it's also good for experienced riders to have something light and nimble and fun and just throw it around, thrash it around. Why not? This should be a great bike for beginners. What about the cost of ownership, bro man? What about the cost of ownership? So, in conclusion, this is the KTM Duke 390, y'all. This is a fun bike, man. It's light, it's nimble, it's compact. It's got enough power without being crazy powerful or whatever. But it's so capable, man. The way this bike leans in and out, and the way you can ride this so easily is amazing. This is hands down the best beginner bike I've ever ridden. I mean, this is a bike that you could use for commuting, but this is definitely not a bike that I'd use for touring, because, you know, no wind protection, none of that. I'm getting blasted with wind everywhere. So is this the bike for you? Well, head on down to your closest KTM dealer, take one out for a spin and check it out for yourself, man. Thanks for watching, you guys. Keep your knees in the breeze, and I'll see you soon. Bro out.